So the next fundamental we're going to be discussing is going to be sight alignment. Sight alignment is the relationship between the front sight post and the rear sights. What I'm talking about here is most of your iron sights that you might get from a stock gun that you'd buy at the store. All guns have been equipped with iron sights for centuries, and they're still in use today. If you buy a gun from the store stock, it will have iron sights unless you're buying a specific type of specialized weapon, rifles, where there's no need for sights because you're going to mount a scope on it. That's the only way to shoot that gun. But on handguns, they'll come with sights. And so when I'm talking sight alignment, I'm really talking specifically about the relationship between the front sight post and the rear notch in the back, this type of thing right here. You always want to line up that front sight post right in the center of the rear notch. Come over here to this target, it's going to look a little bit like this. If this is my front sight post, I have it as exact as I can because there's always going to be movement, right? It's always hard to hold it steady, but there's a really good alignment. Equal light, equal light. This is the iron rear sight. This is the portion of the iron rear sight. This is the portion of the iron front sight. So I want to have as much light showing on this side as I do on this side, and I want everything even right across the top, as close as I can. If you have front sight post here and you have rear sight here and another rear sight right here, that shot's going to land over here somewhere. Conversely, if you have the front sight post right here and you have a portion of the rear sight here and this one, there's a gap on this side, well, now you're going to have the shot over here on this side. So that's why you want it to be as close as you can, centered between the rear sight notch right back here, rear sights. Don't worry about these dots. Some sights are night sights, that kind of thing. You have a much better chance of accurate precision shot if you're focused between these corners right here. This is where you need to focus, these two corners. Don't worry about those dots. It's harder to get a precision shot in the daytime when you're doing that kind of stuff. Literally, those dots are for night only. So don't focus on those dots unless you're shooting at night with no light. We'll go into that in another training, why you would even use that kind of thing. But so focus on these two notches right here. That's what we're talking about. And then where I plan to hit my target, literally the bullet will land. That's a horrible half circle, excuse me. The bullet will literally land right about there on the target. If they're lined up this way, equal height across the top, equal light on the sides, the bullet will literally land right about there. So when we discuss sight alignment, we also need to discuss what you might see behind the gun. It's also part of your sight picture, but especially when it comes to sight alignment, this is going to be really hard to hold, this relationship between this equal height across the top and equal light on the sides. It's going to be really hard to hold, and you're going to see the target behind you. Let's switch over here to this green dot. If my front sight post is right here, about like that, and that's really crude drawing, I know. There's no way I can hold it there 100%. All right? It's going to be moving, and so if I had a dot, let's say I have a dot, a red dot, or a black, I don't care what color dot the dot is, in the center, right on top of the front sight post, right? Due to my movement in my arms, because my arms are extended from my body, and due to my heartbeat, that sort of thing, that red dot literally is going to do this number. So don't worry about where that sight, I have to do it right there. It won't happen that way, because as soon as you sit here and you try to make it happen right when it's in the center, sure enough, you're going to push it down here, down to 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, that sort of thing. So get used to the fact that you can't control all movement, and this type of thing is going to happen, and it's going to be all over. It's a figure eight up and down, or it's a squiggly line because of your heartbeat. You can't control that, right? You can control a lot of your movement. You can control your breathing, but you can't control every bit of movement that's transmitted to your hand. So when it comes to using your iron sights, all right, we need to have a discussion on which eye is your dominant eye. because you can't see the front sight post crystal clear like you want to on a really good precision shot unless you close your non-dominant eye. Now, if we're talking combat style shooting, or I'm going to save my life, oh my gosh, get my gun out and go to work quick, you're not going to close an eye. It's probably going to be within 5 to 7 yards. You're not going to close an eye, nor should you. That's combat shooting. Just get my gun out and quickly put rounds on target. But if you're talking precision and practicing on a range, so you get better at that, and you know where your front sight is because you've pulled it out so many hundreds of times and drawn that way and come on target. You've got to practice precision quite often. What I'll tell people often in training is spend half your time or half your ammunition on precision fundamentals, focusing on fundamentals, and the other half of your ammo or the other half of your time focusing on how you would use your weapon in a real life encounter, which is going to be, oh my gosh, my life is in danger right now, let me defend myself, or a loved one, somebody I know. So let's talk about how to find your dominant eye. All right, as I'm looking at you right now, you can't tell which eye is my dominant eye. You can't just by doing the naked thing, right? But if you put your hands together like this and you focus on a focal point, and now you close one of your eyes, can you still see that focal point? If not, then try the other one. If I still see the camera with my right eye. So I know my right eye is my dominant eye just by doing that simple exercise. Just bring it in nice and slow and maintain focus on what I am looking at. Just try either eye. Do that number back and forth. And the eye that you can still see your focus point with, or whatever you're focusing on with, that is your dominant eye. What that's telling you is it's probably going to be easier for you to close your non-dominant eye and use your dominant eye whenever you're practicing this kind of precision shooting, focusing on the front sight post. You can use your non-dominant eye. It's not that you cannot. You just need to use one or the other, and it's probably easier for you if you use the dominant eye. Now, when you are practicing this type of thing, I'll share some drills with you later on further in our training. But literally, you are focusing on the front sight post. The rear sight's going to be a little blurry. The target's going to be a little blurry. But that front sight post is crystal clear. You can see your name on it. I mean, that's how clearly you're hard focused on that front sight post. Because if you don't, then you can't see this relationship between the corners, equal height, equal light, between the rear sight notch and that front sight post. You can't see that relationship unless you're focusing on the front sight post. So that's why it's important to know what dominant eye to use, that sort of thing. All right.